Okay, so at Omni Local Business Networking, members get the opportunity to present their business to the group, and you can use this time in any way that you like. Most networking organisations will say to you, whatever you do, don't talk about your business, let's get to know you. Well, I think that that's a byproduct of turning up to the same place at the same time and having those independent conversations. Personally, I would rather know about your business, know about what you do, and so therefore I've got the trust in your skills and expertise, and I can help you find referrals, and that's what the whole Omni community is all about. If you want to have a conversation and talk about butterflies, all we know is you know a shed load about butterflies. What we don't know is what you do, can we trust you, and how can we recommend you? So today we've got Tanya. I'm going to pass over the floor to you, and we'll give you till just after 9, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's great. You can wave at me because I do like to chat. So, so hopefully I won't chat too much. Right, so let me start this. Good. So hi, everybody. My name is Tanyas Maneiro from Vida Coaching, and I am a career and personal development coach. And today I wanted to start by introducing myself a bit, getting you to know a little bit about me, and then I'm going to give you some educational bits as well. So hopefully you will find this very useful. So first of all, oh, by the way, my daughter has been doing presentations recently and introduced me to a whole new world of changing between slides. So you're going to see some great animation I have here today. So I have a family. My husband's Spanish, hence the surname says Maneiro, and that's my daughter who's coming up for 11. We have a terror of a dog that we got a year ago, a miniature poodle called Coco, who we adore, but is very, very naughty. I love traveling. I love experiencing new cultures. I love people and understanding different people and visiting all over the world. So that's me a long time ago, looking great in Peru. I used to do a lot of acting, and I once performed in the Edinburgh Festival back in uni days. I don't like to take myself too seriously, so I posted that picture all over social media because I thought I looked hysterical. I finally got to get my hair done, and it was the hottest day of the year, and I almost died of heat exhaustion. And finally, my background in my professional business is that I started off a career in broadcast journalism thinking that was all I wanted to do. Turned out it wasn't what I wanted to do at all. And then I was like, oh dear, what next? So I fell into a career in HR and did HR and then training and then a combination of the two, but never really found the career for me until I found coaching and helping people to find jobs that they love. And so given that I had such a eclectic career, or just not really ever finding what was right for me, it's really important that I help people do it sooner than I did in my 40s. So yeah, that's a bit about my background. So I train, I coach, I mentor. You see, I told you that's the best one. Okay, so what do? I do career transition coaching. So for example, I had a lady who had been an air hostess for 22 years. And when they were making a lot of air hostesses redundant during the pandemic, she decided she needed to change career, and we worked together on her passions. And actually she loved working in IT, and she loved IT, and we through a process discovered that she really wanted to work with CRM systems. So she is now in a job working with CRM systems, which she is absolutely loving. Job search coaching. So I also help people. I did a lot of recruitment in HR, so I help people put together, compelling CVs, interview skills, making sure they sell themselves properly at interview, cover letters, and LinkedIn profiles. And finally, I do some personal development coaching, helping people with their work-life balance, with confidence, with stress management, with productivity, that kind of thing, in businesses and also individually. And finally, I do DISC personality profiling, and that's what I wanted to talk to you today. And I can't see the time. Okay, so I'm going to whiz through this. So I use DISC personality profiling with both my career coaching clients and also small business owners to help them to understand themselves better, to get more self-awareness. So for business owners, it can help them to push the business forward because they understand, what are the blockers in the company, what they need to do to improve their own kind of behaviors and ways of communicating, but also it helps them to understand other people in the business. Or, if you're an individual, it helps you to understand your family, your friends, a lot of people. But also, if you've got your own business, it helps you to understand how to sell more effectively. You start to work out your sales prospects and their types of personalities, and you can change your style to sell more effectively. So this is DISC. DISC stands for D for dominance, I for influence, S for steadiness, and C for compliance, which makes up the acronym DISC. A guy called William Marsden said that he came up with a theory and people put profiling tools around it afterwards. And he said that you could put people into 4 distinct groups depending on their behavioral characteristics, which is this D, I, S, and C. And everyone shares these characteristics, but in to varying degrees of intensity. And as I'm going through it, and I can't do it in much detail because we don't have the time, but you might like to think about what 1 or 2 of these groups, are more like you. So first of all, we have D. These people are very active, outgoing personalities. They are big picture individuals, very positive, but they're also all about the tasks. Ds like to get results. They're dominant, they're drivers, they're direct in their communication style, and they're very determined individuals. So they want to get it done quickly, and their communication style is very much bullet points. Don't give them the detail. They don't like the detail. Your eyes are again on this active, outgoing axis, but they're very much about the people, all about the people. They're the life and soul of the poor party, chatty, friendly, influencing, inspiring. They can be very impulsive, agree to stuff and then regret it later on. They're very creative in coming up with lots of ideas and don't always follow through on those ideas. So they're kind of the people, when an eye walks into the room, they are very chatty and engaging. Then we come down to the more passive and reserved style, the people who like to reflect on things a bit more and more quieter in their style. S's, they're people as well as I's, but in a much more understated way. These people are team players, the S's. They're steady, they're stable, they're supportive. They love to help people. They are very much, they don't like change, and they don't like confrontation. They like everyone to get along, and they're sort of in the sort of, often you find people in the helping professions that have quite a high S. And in fact, in the UK, we tend to have people, the most common profile is S. And then you move on to C's. So C stands for compliance. They're all about the rules, C's. And if you're going to do something, do it right. They are task orientated, very detail orientated. They want to do a quality piece of work and can be very real perfectionists. So yeah, you've got your engineers, your scientists in here, people that have to get stuff right. So that's a little idea of the different styles. So yeah, I'm interested to hear afterwards, if what you think you are. And so now, look at this, curtains, everyone. So benefits then. helps you to have a greater understanding. You might be really self-aware, but it's just when it's written down. Somebody said that it's particularly the areas of development on the report, they kind of knew them, but it just gave them a bit more clarity and to think about, wait, how can I improve on these areas? It helps to manage conflict. I have got very little D in my profile, and HR directors tend to have lots of D in their profile. I used to think that maybe the HR director didn't like me very much because they were, you know, very strong characters and I just want everyone to get along. If I'd known about DISC then, I would have realized that it's nothing to do with whether they like you or they don't like you. People just communicate and behave in very different ways. And so if you can understand that, you can then start to work on, you know, trying to find a way to get on with individuals that maybe you don't get on with currently. And that means that teamwork is more effective. Sorry, I'm just looking at the time. Oh, okay. Assisting with career development, obviously, and effective leadership helps. There's a leadership section, so it shows what your strengths and your weaknesses are within leadership. And I use it with some small companies to help them to recruit the right people as part of the recruitment process so that they know who they're getting into the team. And obviously I've talked about improving sales, you know, changing your style. If someone's an I, they like to have a chat first. So have a chat with them, even if that's not your style. And I'll go through this very, very quickly. Just have a think about, what impression do you want to make as a business owner? What impression do you want to make to other people? Do you want to make an impression and be quite a D style, like old Donald? Do you want to have fun and be very engaging? And I could tell you the stories behind this, but that's another day. Like Richard Branson. Do you want to be a more calm, as she was when she was the princess, more calm and considered? Or do you want to be more detail orientated, like Teresa? How do you want people to see you? Think about how you come across to people. And if it's not the way you want people to see you, then you can start to make some changes. And that's it. That's the end of my presentation. A real whistle. I could talk forever about DISC. So it's a real whistle stop tour of that. But yeah, that's me, Tanya says Maneiro, and please ask if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tanya. Brilliant. Could you drop the screen? Thank you very much. Right, okay, that was really fascinating. You know, everybody's heard of these DISC things, but I totally love the way that you put in the fact that you can change your sales aspect and you know, almost down to body language that other person identifies with. So that's really good. And as a business owner, I think we try and do all of that. But as you grow, I think you really do need to identify who you are. I know I don't like admin. And trust me, my bookkeeper is 2 emails a day asking me for bits and bobs. So, you know, I know that. But yeah, it's a great thing that. So thank you very much for that. Has anybody got any questions? Go for it, Mars, and then we'll go to Paul.
Tanya, do you help place people?
So no, I'm not a recruiter. I just do the DISC element. I just kind of, when they do all the interviewing, and as part of it, they think about who have we got in the team and who would fit well in the team. But also it's about, you know, what does the job require? If you need someone that's got a lot of detail, you want to make sure that you've got someone with C in their profile in that role. If they don't have the C element, they might not be the right fit for that particular role.
So the BA stewardess who you placed into IT, how did you manage that?
It was more about working out what she wanted to do. So it wasn't placing. I worked out what she helped her work out, you know, because the world was her oyster and she didn't know. She'd always been an air hostess. So it was trying to work out, what do I want to do next? And we narrowed it down to working with CRMs. But then I worked with her on her CV and interview skills. So I help prepare people, but they have to actually get the job. Themselves.
Okay. Fair. Thank you.
Paul?
Thank you.
So to do an actual sort of DISC profile on someone, how long, what sort of time scale, how, you know, what's actually involved in doing that for someone? Because and even for a website, you have to know who you're selling to.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I've seen this sort of thing before where I've said to people, you've got to figure, if you can DISC profile who you're aiming your website at, you can actually use it to sell to people. But how long does the process take?
So actually answering the questionnaire takes 7 minutes. It's a real gut reaction to answer the questions, and everyone's like blown away by how accurate, well, not everyone, you know, but the majority of people just can't believe it, that it can be so accurate with such a quick process. But what I usually then say, it produces a report, an 18-page report, lots of pictures for those that don't like detail, and then I suggest a one-to-one with somebody, because that's where the real value comes out, coaching them around the report, you know, trying to pull out the areas that they need to improve on and the areas that they're really strong on and need to focus on.
Fantastic, brilliant.
I'll just add something.
Go for it.
Yes, Judy.
I've had this report done on me, and I was absolutely blown away with how accurate it was. It basically told you things you knew about yourself and things you suspected about yourself, and it's like, okay, that is true. Just really, really useful. And in terms of how you put yourself across, it was really useful as well. In terms of how, you know, improving yourself, it was really useful as well. I personally, I love this stuff, and yeah, I think it's just so useful. It's so much more useful than something like a psychometric test, because it shows more about, you know, where your gaps are, and then you can work on how to sort of fill in the gaps if you need to for that particular role or not. Anyway, so just seconding what you're saying, really.
Thanks, Judy.
Thank you, Judy. Right, one more, and that's Camilla, and then just for the interest of time, go for it, Camilla.
Do you prefer working with individuals or businesses?
What, with regards to DISC?
Well, yeah, would you just generally in your role in the coaching, would you rather work with a business and help them with their staff, or do you prefer working on a one-to-one with individuals who need your help?
Oh, Camilla, I just love working with people, really. As long as I can help somebody, it doesn't really, I mean, with businesses, you know, you generally get more people. So obviously it's from a business perspective, it's great if they say, oh, can you DISC 5 people, or can you do personal development work with 5 people? I'm like, happy days. But you know, it's fine. I work with small and medium-sized businesses. I'm not really that fussed about working with corporates, you know, been there, done that. I like working with small or medium-sized businesses or individuals, and I don't really mind who.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I've done DISC over the years, and when I led sales teams, I used to use DISC as part of my recruitment, so I'm a massive advocate for it. I think it's a brilliant tool for anybody employing people, definitely.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Camilla. So for the interest of the video, because this will be going out there, and very, very quickly, can you just give us an ideal referral for you? Who can we point your way?
Probably business coaches. I currently have a relationship with a team of business coaches who, every time they get a new client on, they DISC them so that they can say, look, as a business owner, this is what you're doing well, this is what you need to improve. Because often when a business owner wants to grow a business, it's something that they are or aren't doing. You know, maybe they're not delegating effectively or whatever it might be, and so it can be really helpful as part of the mentoring coaching process to use DISC.
Fantastic.
The other thing as well would be people who are doing well, small businesses who are doing really well, and are recruiting and want to use DISC as part of their recruitment.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And I can see the passion that you have there, and that I'd rather work with someone who's passionate about helping than just taking the check. Right, so I'm going to stop the recording.